Welcome to highlights of HRZN Racing League Season 5, round number 3. From the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, these are the highlights for the feature race. You can check out the card at the top to follow the action from the sprint. I'm Chris, otherwise known as Scream, I'll be taking you through this 32-lap race, but let's remind you of the calendar and the results from that sprint. Bahrain and Qatar have already been and gone, Sandro Wagner taking victories in both. Tommy Ash took the victory in the sprint event earlier in the day. And he took that victory by 3 seconds from Sandro Wagner. I'm Your Mate took third, Stenna fourth, Jimmy Alex fifth, Scottish Vampire DRS Stein completing the sprint points. However, Sandro did extend the lead to 20 points in the overall driver standings, Scorn in third and I'm Your Mate defending champion in fourth. In split 1, Tommy Ash took the lead there by 5 from Soulful Griffin with I'm Your Mate third, 6 Pompano and Baza still in the relegation spaces. Sandro Wagner leads the way in split 2 and Senna moves up to second with other drivers dropping out. Everybody has points on the board in split number 2. In the constructors, Mercedes led the way from RB and Aston Martin, and our reserve drivers HRZN Racing get their name on the board, but no points as yet. For the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo Dino Ferrari, otherwise known as Imola circuit we all know and love, let's take a look around this legendary Italian venue. It's a 4.909km circuit, 19 turns, 12 to the left, 9 to the right. Michael Schumacher holds the most wins here with 7, although the Scottish took Season 1, Season 3 Sprint and Season 3 Feature. This is a wonderful circuit to drive and you immediately go through Variante Bassa, this little right-hand kink to start the lap as you head down towards the Tamburello chicane, as corner known the world around. But what you've got to do is take a little bit of curb on entry and exit and through the middle. Don't take too much though, the sausage curbs will spin you off. As you head up towards Villeneuve, you want to keep a fair amount of speed through the first section, let it roll, but slow it in for the second. Get out on that curb, but not too far. Into Tosa, keep it tight through the hairpin. Try not to get too much drag as you go up the hill towards Piratella. It's a fast left-hand kink, but again, don't get too wide. Track limits here are very easy to break. As you head down towards Acqua Minerale, quick on the entry, but slower through the second part, and again, off that curb as much as you can. Towards Variante Alta, sausage curves on the inside of the chicane will put you into the barrier if you're not careful. Don't get too wide on exit. And then on your way down to Ravazza, using the hill to give you more of the speed, but nice and steady on the brakes. Again, can take a little bit of the curbing on entry and exit here. Don't get too much on the exit or you'll end up in the gravel. And that's another lap of the circuit complete. But let's take a look then at the grid for the feature race. It was a fairly surprising result in the sprint, Sandro and I'm Your Mate not at the top. However, in the feature race, I'm Your Mate took pole from Tommy Ash, Sandro Wagner there third, Scottish fourth, Bunny's Vengeance fifth, then Senna, Vampire, Stein, Scorn and Jimmy completing the top 10. Vampire and Bunny came through from the back. It was a really solid spot to be starting for both of those guys in the feature. Baza, Jacob, Andy, Mago, Dabasaurus, Booby and Perpetual round off the 17 drivers taking part in this one. A couple of those guys very rapid at the back, but let's get into the action.
Here we go then. 1 light, 2 lights, 3, 4 and 5. And away we go at Imola. 32 laps, kick off right now, and it's a good start as far as we know. Senna moves everywhere. Sandro immediately making moves on Tommy. Again, they're going 2 or 3 wide into Tamburello. We've got, I think that's the Scottish. Yep, the Scottish has gone. Dabasaurus, everybody's moving about everywhere. The Scottish down to the back. I don't know whether there's been contact or he's made a mistake. Scorn past Jimmy a bit further back. He's going to start making moves forward. He definitely needs it. Jimmy fighting with Baza in Tosa. Baza, yeah, I think there was a little bit of contact with Jacob. Maybe he's lost an end plate, but seems to still be okay.
Good luck, guys.
Let's take a look at the start from Senna's perspective. Gets a really good start then, and before you know it, he's right up alongside Bunny's Vengeance off the line. Just trying to keep it steady in the middle, really trying to avoid contact. A little bit of wheel banging with Bunny, and then there's the smallest of touches with the Scottish, who's off into the gravel.
I just took Scottish out. Sorry, Scottish.
The view from a bit further back with Andy in the Haas. Little bit of wheel spin off the line, but does manage to hold his position. Just trying to keep it clean and steady, but then there's just a little bit of wheel banging there with Mago, who gets right into the side, and Andy survives to fight another day. On board with Jimmy, not quite as good a start in the feature as he had in the sprint, gets just a little bit of wheel spin, but he starts trying to hunt down the guys in front pretty quickly. He's got Bazza taking a little look, and he tries to go in the outside of Scorn through Tamburello, doesn't quite make it, and then gets into the side of the Aston Martin. This one continues all the way through the exit, more wheel banging, but Scorn will then hold the position, and Jimmy gets just a little bit wide on the exit.
Under the plane, Bunny's hitting the back of me.
Mago now going past Jacob up to Piratella. That's not a place you overtake easily, and runs wide for his trouble. Right on board with Vampire though. No DRS just yet, but past Sign. Fairly straightforward into Tamburello. It's a powerful DRS zone heading up into Tamburello, which could play into these guys' hands in just a moment. Bazza right up behind Jimmy, having a much better race so far, qualified well. We'll stay with this battle just for a second, because I think Tommy not quite close enough to Sandro to make any moves. As the camera deciding to just put us anywhere, as we're going to go 3 wide into Tamburello. A little bump and run. Jimmy, Scorn making contact. Bazza watching brief just behind. Syme regains the position he'd lost.
On board here with the RB of Jimmy Alex, trying to hunt down Scorn's Aston Martin with the DRS. He's also got Bazza for company and Syme there as well, as we get another 3-way scrap into Tamburello. Just another little bit of contact with the Aston Martin. Syme regains the position. Scorn stays where he is. And Jimmy doesn't get any further forward.
Looks like Jimmy's lost a little bit of front wing end plate. Possibly Scorn as well. Tamburello tightens up so quickly that it becomes quite difficult to keep yourself out of the side of another car. We'll ride with Senna just for a moment in the Sauber. Sandro gets a 3-second time penalty. That could be huge for race win. We'll drop back to Jimmy, who's managed to get past Scorn up into the Acqua Minerale chicane.
Once again, back with the RB of Jimmy, still with Syme, Scornful Griffin and Bazza, down into Acqua Minerale here. Really trying to close up on the rear of the Aston Martin. Does seem to have good pace. Gets a real great traction slingshot, and he's passed before Variante Alta. Keeps it nice and clean and is through.
Variante Alta, sorry, getting my corners confused, but we'll go back on board with Senna. Looking a little bit all over the place through Ravazza, but we'll get the DRS, and you can see how powerful it is. Easily past Bunny, who comes back across to try and take the line. Very nearly a George Russell, Valtteri Bottas incident down there. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3. It looks like Bazza's moving backwards.
On board with the Ferrari of Bazza, who's now hunting down Jimmy Alex here. Gets his braking point just a little bit too wrong into Variante Alta. Clips the back of the RB, spins the car. Having to let everybody else go through. Taking his time just to pick his way through the gravel and the grass. Back onto the road, but way down the order.
Past Senna again. Those two are going to be switching back and forth through a lot of this, I feel.
Let's ride with the kick saber of Senna. Gets a big drift out of Aqua Minerale, and Bunny is straight through without too much hassle. You can see it's even confused the drivers. And then he nearly gets into the back of Bunny, who has a similar drift up at Variante Alta. But let's look at that from Bunny's perspective as well. Following the saber down into Aqua Minerale, all looking fairly calm. Both a little loose at the rear, but then there you go, the snap. And through goes Bunny. And up into Variante Alta, Bunny then gets just a little bit wide himself, nearly spins the car.
I don't want to be in front of him.
But we'll watch with Perpetual as Mago gets a little wide. Andy might be able to make a move, but Mago really defending astutely into Variante Alta, but gets it just a little overcooked on the brakes. Already fallen off DRS of Dabasaurus, who's started to just pull away as Bunny now gets a 3-second time penalty again. Could be pivotal for race result. Especially with Senna going back past again. I'm going to be pulling some stuff from there. We'll see Andy now with the DRS should make it by fairly easily. Gives a nice wide berth. We'll look back for Perpetual as well. Mago though holds the centre line and it's nice and safe. So powerful, in fact, he's actually got up right behind Dabasaurus. Oh, Mago and Perpetual switching places further behind. The Scottish got past Boogie as well. Back with the McLaren of Perpetual here. He's hunting down Andy and Mago up ahead. You can see Andy makes the move on Mago. Perpetual has a little think about doing it into Tamburello, but doesn't make it. Mago, though, all over the place, rear sliding one way and the other. And he's up the inside, heading into Villeneuve. Nice, clean move. Andy not quite brave enough to go for the move into Villeneuve. I think it could have been on, but not quite brave enough to go for it, as we see Scorn getting very wide, and Jimmy now, he's having a really good race here at Imola as well. Looking strong and chasing down Syme. And the gap between the top three are a second, but they're 5.5 clear of Senna as Perpetual moves past Andy. Andy and Mago making contact as Mago goes through, but then gets 3 seconds, so Andy just needs to stay close. Back with Andy in the Haas here, chasing down Dabasaurus at Piratella. Looking fairly clean and tidy around him at the moment. Into Aqua Minerale, nice steady throttle application, but then, much like Senna before, big kick of oversteer, nearly loses the car. Perpetual goes through, little bit of contact with Mago. But Andy, once again, surviving at least to fight another day. Your mate moves to the left, trying to break DRS. It's not going to happen. We'll watch Sandro go past him from here. And Tommy wants to try and make it a 3-way fight for the win. Basil with a 3-second time penalty. Tommy just holds off. Bunny goes past Senna again further back as Syme moves past Jimmy again. Those guys... Oh, Scorn's even gone past Jimmy. That's a double move with DRS there for Scorn. Let's ride on board with Jimmy. You see Syme goes by with the DRS and Scorn follows suit, but they'll go side by side into Tamburello. Syme will get across the curbs and just have a little bit of contact with Scorn. Jimmy will regain at least one of the positions he lost. He does think about the move on Syme out of Tamburello, but thinks a little bit better of it. Comes out through Villeneuve, having only lost 1 place. But they're still fighting it out. Scottish pass Perpetual further back as well. And Mago got by as well. Oh no, he's lost it. And there goes Mago into the wall. That's going to be... gets a car reset, but that's going to definitely be a wing changes. I'm Your Mate now gets 3 seconds and has lost... I'm Your Mate moving slowly. I'm Your Mate has lost it. We'll ride on board with I'm Your Mate and Tommy for I'm Your Mate's little spin here. Into Aqua Minerale, gets the 3 seconds, lights up the rears and he's round. Watch it from Tommy's perspective as well, just to give you a little bit more of a full view of it as we head up to Piratella. It's a fairly steady train of cars here. As you can see,
I hope not.
A little clip of the curb on the outside, and I'm Your Mate puts it into the wall. Does get
That
damage.
might be.
Tommy survives. I'm Your Mate has to crawl back to speed
Look who's
again.
in front of us! I passed every minute on track!
So Bunny's Vengeance goes past. Will Senna go by as well? He tries. There's contact. Vampire right there. Watching on board with Vampire. Davasaurus gets a penalty. I think Jimmy got one in all that as well, but I'm Your Mate also picked up a penalty. Tommy now. Senna goes past I'm Your Mate. Down into Ravazza. Vampire has to back out of it. But I'm Your Mate lost it.
Back with Senna in the Sauber here.
Look who's in
You'll
front
see
of
that
us!
I'm Your Mate is just recovering back to track, and they get just a little bit too close through Variante Alta. It's a 3-second time penalty for track limits after a little bit of wheel backing. Vampire also looking to see if he can make a move. Senna will send it into Ravazza and gain the position from the Ferrari.
And has been passed by Bunny's Vengeance and Senna. Senna now kind of cut away from Bunny, but still within DRS. I'm Your Mate won't get by there as Boogie goes past. May go down at the back. I think he's coming in for a wing change. Andy moves past Perpetual. Mago moves past Bazza. Whether Bazza's binned it, I'm not sure. Let's ride on board with Andy coming out of Tamburello here. Sees Perpetual just ahead of him. You'll see Perpetual gets a little wide through the first part of Villeneuve and off into the gravel. Andy makes a nice, easy, clean pass to move forward. We'll also ride on board here with Bazza. He's got all over the curbs through Tamburello, all over the grass. Spins the car, you can see the rears are pretty done for at this point as well. And then he'll try and recover back to track while also not getting in anybody else's way. But another DNF incoming as he struggles to put the power down without spinning the car again. It's a rather sad end to another race weekend for Bowser.
Careful, we think you're going to start losing some tyre grip anytime now.
Saurus gets it all wrong for Aqua Minerale Scottish. Is he going to go for it at that Variante Alta? No, he's not. Sensible, I think, more than anything. He eases off the throttle. Watch Jimmy and Syme, both with DRS as Davasaurus nets the time penalty as Syme goes round Jimmy into Tamburello. The Scottish now in as well. So the field now spreading just a little bit as people come in for pit stops. Boogie now with another 3 seconds. It's lap 14, the mediums will be running out as Perpetual in now as well. Sandro getting very wide, right on board at just the right time. And Tommy makes it through at Variante Alta. We've got a 10-second gap on Senna though in third. Tommy heads on in, Sandro will not. Sandro stays out for another lap. As we'll ride on board with I'm Your Mate, who's still behind Vampire, despite Vampire pitting, so it's not worked out well for the Ferrari, but he seems to be flying as the Scottish picks up another 3 seconds. Time penalties are going to play a massive part in this one. I'm Your Mate with Vampire as Andy and Davasaurus both in. I'm Your Mate goes flying past the Mercedes. Won't quite get out ahead of Tommy though. Tommy actually has cleared him by a comfortable margin as Boogie gets a penalty. Yeah, Tommy heading up to Tosa as the Scottish retires. The Scottish is gone. Stay with Tommy. Syme's still yet to come in. Sandro's still yet to come in, but Tommy is really pushing along here. Does Syme defend all that hard? I don't think he does, as we've got a yellow flag. Tommy goes through, heading down towards Ravazza. Whatever the yellow was for, it's gone. Let's get on board with Tommy. Can he overturn the deficit and get into the lead of this race. Sandro. Tyres have been changed. As Tommy comes around the final corner, Sandro cruising down the pit lane. This is going to be close. Where's that control line? No, he doesn't make it. Tommy takes the lead. Senna gets another 3 seconds, but Tommy takes the lead and has. Simon has gone past Sandro as well. Simon, currently the cork in this bottle, yet to pit. And then when the Sauber comes in, it's going to be it's going to release these three to fight. Whether Simon fights too hard is debatable, as Boogie gets another 3 seconds right down at the back. But I'm your mate now, right there. I'm still staying out, running long at the moment. May go with another 3 seconds. Sandro has passed Syme. I'm your mate goes past Syme. Does Vampire go past Syme? Yes, he does. Dabasaurus now gets another 3 seconds. The gap will stay with I'm your mate because he's going to be the one looking to make moves here. Even if Tommy does get caught, he's just got to stay within arm's length of these guys. I think he will want to just level that gap off a bit as I'm your mate is going to go for the move. Sandro, though, defending well, keeping it on the inside, but he can't defend against the DRS. I'm your mate is through. Vampire following closely behind, but still not quite close enough to affect the pass. I'm still yet to pit, running those mediums long. Let Senna go by. Doesn't really have anything to defend against Bunny either, though. As we watch Sandro again, I'm your mate will go defensive. But again, the DRS is not a huge amount you can do as Mego gets another 3 seconds. Should be well into the 20s now as Sandro cruises on by. Gap down to 4.7 as Syme finally gives up those mediums to 2 as Mego retires. Virtual safety car. So everybody will just sort of back off as... Oh no, they do. Tommy comes in. Just about looks to have got it slowed down in time, but Sandro's in, I'm your mate's in, Vampire in as well. They're all deciding to come in. Bunny too. Senna has been in, but is all the way down Aqua Minerale, so isn't going to make a huge amount of difference here as the Mercedes did have to double stack. That could cost Vampire, but it's whether he's going to be quick enough in the intervening time. Should easily make it ahead of Senna. But we're going to see a lot of close battles, I think. It's a full safety car. It was. We're not getting the right information on the timing tower. It is a full safety car rather than a virtual. But here we are then. Safety car is coming in. Tommy is going to back them up. When is he going to bolt? Sandro actually backing off. Vampire backing off as well. We're into the final part of the lap through Ravazza. Tommy still backing it off. He will drop the clutch now as Perpetual gets a 3 second time penalty further back. Timing tower still shows safety car. I don't think it's come back out. As Vampire's going for a move with I'm your mate. Close quarters. Have they both survived? Yes, they have, but Vampire's gone now. Oh, Vampire falling back. All we caught was the distance view of that one.
Let's ride on board with I'm your mate off the safety car restart. Looks like he's closing on the guys in front. But as quickly as he's closing, Vampire's doing the same to him. He comes up the inside. They get a little bit connected wheel to wheel. I'm your mate clips the curb. There's no further action from the stewards. We'll watch on board with Bunny as well, just so you can get another angle of this one.
The staples going.
The drag effect is working out for a lot of people here, but as you can see into the corner, they just come together. The little wiggle gets Vampire out wide, Bunny clips him, and then Vampire goes round, continues to fight.
Did I?
You can see Just in the background there, Vampire. He was looking at Dabosaurus. I was actually trying to flick through to I'm Your Mate Sandro because they were running pretty close. We go right up to the front. Sandro with DRS. I'm Your Mate with DRS. Sandro goes off the road, round the outside. I'm Your Mate and Sandro come together. This is a hell of a battle. It was like Ricardo Zonta for Tommy there, stuck between Mika Hakkinen and Michael Schumacher. But Sandro and I'm Your Mate go by. Tommy now. 10-second penalty, gained a place, corner cutting for Sandro. I don't know what happened. From the angle we were at, it looked like he just got it wrong and went off.
Let's watch that incident from on board with Tommy here.
Well, I'm not burning. I'm just
Heading down into Tamburello, you'll see split between the two cars, but Sandro runs off circuit to take the position. There was no further action on an appeal trying to remove the penalty, as he could have ceded the position a lot earlier. All of them continue on. Sandro now with a much heavier time penalty.
Scorn goes past Bunny. Vampire has now made the move on Andy. Still making a comeback at the moment. We're going to keep the penalties up here, I think, because it's it could be beneficial. Scorn now. If Scorn gets away from the pack and runs off after the guys up front, could take a very unlikely victory. At the moment, we'll definitely go by Sandro. Bunny and Scorn fighting out. Jimmy going past Senna there. Bunny's gone past Scorn. Vampire past Syme. I'm going to be picking highlights out of this one for a few hours, I think. Especially post-safety car. Tommy on the hunt. Sandro on the hunt. Scorn in the absolute box seats for a better result. Tommy looking left, looking right. Doesn't quite make a move into Tamburello. He's running out of time. As Vampire makes more moves, this time past Senna. Time penalties for Jimmy are going to mean that he's going to move forward. Bunny now gets another 3 seconds. He's going to slip way down. But Vampire and Scorn... Oh, I'm trying to do the maths. I don't think they'll both make it to the podium, but they won't be far off. One of them certainly will. At the moment, I think Scorn is on for a third place as Vampire moves past Jimmy and continues to hold it through Piratella. What a finish that was to that move. 2.6 seconds up to Scorn. If he catches, as I'm Your Mate has been passed by Sandro. Tommy goes past I'm Your Mate. That could be for the race victory. Boogie and Syme both getting more penalties. Tommy really needs to make the move happen now. Senna goes past Jimmy further back. But Tommy has to make the move here, or at least somewhere in this lap, as I'm Your Mate goes past Sandro. Tommy goes past Sandro as well. He looked for it into Tamburello, but he doesn't make it.
Let's watch that battle at the end of the race with Tommy's perspective. Up into Varianti, you can see that I'm Your Mate's got all out of shape, allows Sandro past. Tommy gets up alongside and just for a moment nudges himself ahead. But down into Ravazza, I'm Your Mate manages to just hang it around the outside and survive. Tommy gets a little wide out of the final corner, the second part of Ravazza there. And the DRS, while strong, not quite powerful enough to pull him all the way up alongside the Ferrari, but he will squeeze past Sandro on the inside and give I'm Your Mate just a little fright into Tamburello.
Let's stay with this fight. Because if Tommy makes it past I'm Your Mate, he takes the victory in the race. If not, he stays second as Senna gets another 3 seconds. As the Saubers switch places. And continue to switch places. They're fighting all the way down to Tamburello, I'm sure. Does Tommy... Does he risk a lunge and not take in second? Or does he go for the move? Because I think whatever happened to Sandro in that three-way tussle into Tamburello. I think it might have been, I don't know whether it was contact or just a miscommunication. But Tommy now, he's going to go, is he going to go for it into Ravazza? No, he's not. I'm Your Mate that gets it wide into the final corner. I'm Your Mate will cross the line on the road in first. Second goes to Tommy. Sandro will cross the line in third, and May, even he does, holds third. But Scorn jumps both Sandro, Vampire as well. Here we go. This is where it all starts to work out. Dabosaurus we've still got Boogie to cross the line, but this is where we're going to be looking. As Boogie, that's another 3 seconds at the end. It's I'm Your Mate from Tommy. Scorn takes third. Vampire takes fourth. Andy takes fifth. Sandro slips to sixth with his penalties. Perpetual gets seventh. Jimmy eighth. Bunny drops to ninth. Senna and Simon Senna 10th, 11th. And Dabosaurus takes the final point as Boogie will cross the line in last place.
What a feature race at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Let's take a look at those classified results. I'm Your Mate takes his first win of the year by 0.3 of a second over Tommy Ash. Scorn finishes in third. Vampires double drive through the field, nets and drive today in fourth. And Sandro Wagner gets fastest lap. Overall standings, there's now 11 points between Sandro and Tommy, with I'm Your Mate in third, Scorn is fourth. Vampire moves up to 6th place. In split 1, Tommy Ash leads now by a solitary point from I'm Your Mate. Soulful Griffin, a further 7 back Vampire, moving up to 4th. Six and Baz are still unfortunately in the drop zone, but there's still plenty of races to go. In split number 2, Sandro Wagner pulls even further away from Senna, who sits in second. He's 8 points clear of Perpetual, so that battle for promotion could really heat up as the season progresses. And in the Constructors, Mercedes continue to be ahead by 22 points from RB. Ferrari moving to third, just ahead of Aston Martin. And Alpine, just 1 point behind Williams, down in 10th. So that was the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. What a weekend it's been. Thank you so much for checking out the highlights. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys real soon.